If you wanted to make confit of duck from scratch, you'd have to salt it overnight and then cook it really gently in duck fat for a few hours. But you can get confit of duck ready to go. So all you need to do is preheat it, and it is fantastic in flavour. So I've already got 2 in my baking dish. I've preheated my oven to 190 degrees, and I'm going to make enough for 4 people. So I'll open the next packet. I'm going to take it out of the fat, but it also has a little marinade on it, which is going to form a beautiful sauce. So we're just going to carefully separate them, and they fit nice and snug in one baking dish. Now, to give this some extra flavour, I'm adding some port. It's a bit of a French touch here. And we're just going to add that to our baking dish, just in and around those duck legs, spread it out. And some French shallots, which will transform and become really sweet after they caramelise. So a good handful of those, and we'll just nestle them in and around the duck. Okay, this goes into the oven, hot oven 190 for the 15 to 20 minutes. Now, while they're cooking, I've got a little time to do a puree. Fantastic with potato puree or a celeriac puree. This is a bulb of celeriac in winter. I just absolutely adore it. It comes from the celery family, so it does have that celery flavour, and it makes the most amazing puree. So what I'm doing is topping and tailing it and just trying to get rid of all those little gnarly bits. And I'll use half of this. So just carefully taking all of that off, because we don't want any of that in this gorgeous white puree. Then, to speed up the whole process of making the puree, I like to just dice it into about 2 centimetre pieces. And you can cook this in water if you like, but if you want to get that really gorgeous snow white colour, then cook it in milk. It's also going to give it a nice flavour. So we'll just chop that, okay, into some milk. And you just want to submerge them. Heat can go on, pinch of salt. The celeriac is going to cook in the milk for about 15 to 20 minutes or until they're tender. I'll drain it from the liquid and then blend it until it's smooth. Okay, I've pureed the celeriac. Look at that. It is just delicious. And we'll just pop it to the side while we finish off the duck. Now, the duck has come out of the oven. Look how golden brown it is. And I've just put it on a low heat. And just to make an extra sauce, I'm just adding a bit of chicken stock. You only need a small amount. And what that does is we're going to lift all those caramelised bits that have cooked in the oven. So we've got an instant sauce without adding so many different ingredients. All right, heat off. To plate up, we'll start with our celeriac puree, a few generous spoonfuls onto a plate. A little smear to be a bit fancy. I'll take one of these duck legs out. I'm thinking this one right here. Rest that on top of the puree. And these shallots, they've completely transformed. They've caramelised. I like how they're slightly dark on one side, so we'll just take a few of these. They become almost jammy and sweet, just divine with the duck. And then these lovely pan juices, I'm going to drizzle over the top, let it sort of make puddles in the puree just over here. Look at that. This duck is going to be meltingly tender in the centre, crispy on the outside. You know, confit of duck, it takes hours and hours to prepare, not anymore. This took 30 minutes at most, and that, may I say, looks very restaurant quality.